Well, at this point, I'm going to invite up Andy Robertson. We're going to hear a bit from him. I just let you use the lectern mic, Andy. So, Andy, most people in this room probably know you, but if we don't, who are you? What do you do? What are you up to these days?
So, my name's Andy Robertson. I'm a minister at the Free Church Scotland, and I'm doing a church plant in a part of Dundee called Charleston. It's northwest of the city. It's a housing scheme, and my wife and I have been there it's a church plant from this church, and we've been there for, I think, 8 years, maybe 9 years, a long time. So we've been doing a church plant from St. Peter's in Charleston for at least 8 years.
And I'd expect a lot of us here have probably never been to Charleston, maybe never been to that part of the city.
Should come.
Yeah. What? Sell it to us, Andy. What's it like as a part of the city to come and visit?
So Charleston's a housing scheme, like it's pretty similar to any other scheme in the city in Dundee. So many of you might be from a scheme, many of you might live in a scheme here in Dundee. What we see in Charleston, with a scheme like that is that there's a lot of people who would live in poverty, a lot of unemployment, and with that comes a lot of social issues in regards to alcohol and drugs, especially, in regards to a whole host of other things as well, broken households, violence, all that kind of stuff. That's the negative side. What I would say is really positive that you see that's maybe quite unique in schemes like Charleston is that there's a real sense of community. There's a real sense of care for one another, looking out for one another, and so that's been great for us living there. Really, you feel like everyone's got your back, you know everyone, and so it is. It's a place worth coming to visit, and come and visit the church. The church is the building that we use is an old post office right in the middle of Charleston. And we've renovated it with the help of, it's actually folks here in St. Peter's that renovated it, did a great job, and we've just done another renovation of it recently. And it's kind of like a drop-in that we use throughout the week, and we use the local community centre for our services on Sunday.
Great. And so what kind of things, you've talked about drop-in centre and stuff, what kind of stuff have you got ongoing as a church? What's exciting you at the minute about life in Charleston?
Yeah, we've got a number of things going on. So we do drop-in cafes for people in the community. Like I said, we've got a lot of folks who are unemployed, and so they're available during the day. So we do drop-ins on Tuesday and Fridays, just a chance for people to come in, have a chat, play some pool, and for us to get to know them a bit better. We run a number of different groups for different people in the community as well. So we have a teen group that we run on Tuesday night for the teens there. We have a youth group called Impact that we run on Thursday night. We run a seniors lunch club for all the over 60s in the scheme once a month. It seems that the majority of them are women named Mary. And just kind of various groups like that. We run a thing on Sunday afternoons called Celebrate Recovery, which we've just come from, helping those that are struggling with addiction and various other trauma and difficult circumstances. And a toddler group as well. That's the other thing that we run. And there's lots of stuff. There's a craft group as well on Monday, and a lot of folks in the scheme come to that too. So
a couple of things going on in Charleston, and maybe you could think of one or two things that are particularly encouraging you in the minute in the life of the church, outreach or within the church itself, whatever. I'll let you say for yourself.
Yeah, I think it's been encouraging. The youth work has been really encouraging at the moment. It's kind of grown and developed. I'm really encouraged with, on Thursday nights we would have about 30 kids come along, 25 to 30 kids. On Tuesday nights we just started this teen cafe last year, and we've got about 18 teenagers that come along to that in the church. And it's so encouraging because they're all from non-Christian homes. Most of them are, sorry, not all of them. But most of them are from our non-Christian homes. We're getting an opportunity to talk about Jesus and share the gospel with them. It's opened up so many doors. I've got a great opportunity which you can pray for just this month coming up in May. I'm doing the two primary schools in Charleston are going to Teen Ranch and I'll be going with them and doing some of the talks at that as well, and trying to build up some more connections with the young people and with their parents as well and carers. So it's been really encouraging to see that youth work grow and develop, and opportunities that have come through that. I'm hugely encouraged by the seniors lunch club that we run in Charleston as well. We probably get about 30 folks come along to that. We usually have a wee game of bingo, and I get to do a Bible talk. It's not gambling. You only win, I think, like some Ferrero Rocher and a copy of Gentle and Lowly. If you win it, if you get a full house. But I've been so encouraged with that. In particular, I think just the fact that, we've got a couple of older people in our church who've invited folks along to that, and as a result of coming to seniors lunch, have come along to church. Did 2 funerals last year for 2 ladies that started coming to church, made professions of faith off the back of that. And again, just really encouraging to see God at work there, and to be involved in their lives right at the very end, and to see them make those professions of faith in Jesus at the end. And just encouraged with the kind of evangelistic spirit and zeal. We've got a number of guys, particularly recent converts in the scheme, who are just really zealous to reach the scheme with the gospel, and great at inviting people into things. And it's been really, really encouraging. Charleston is quite chaotic as an area. It's maybe reflective in the church a little bit as well. We try and be as non-chaotic as we can be. But if I was to write down the names of everyone in the scheme who has come to that church, you're looking at 150 people at least. That's not how much we have on a Sunday, because it seems to be like a kind of constant revolving door. People come in, people make professions of faith and then walk away, which has been some of the harder stuff that we've had to deal with. It's just like constant movement, it seems, all the time. So it's a challenge to kind of create something that is stable and settled in an environment that is quite chaotic. But really encouraging to see that. And we recently have changed our kind of a work that we've done in addiction. We ran a group called Crossroads, and it kind of petered out in the last few months or so. But it's interesting, groups like that, they kind of just come and go in waves. And we just jotted down the names of everyone who had been at that group, and there was 52 names. And we were just kind of praying for them, and a number of them had made professions of faith. And one of the big comments that we heard when we started that group was, no one's ever taught us this before. It was a Bible study group. No one's ever told us this before. And just the encouragement to be sharing the gospel with folks that have never heard it before. And we trust that there will be a harvest, either 30, 60, and maybe, God willing, 100-fold. Real encouragements there. And I think it's just a good spirit in the church of unity and care for one another, and just pray that continues, and that people really love each other, and just keep looking out for each other and helping each other.
Yeah, brilliant. So if we're here tonight and we want to get involved, maybe in the not chaos, or if we want to get caught up in the evangelistic zeal that you're talking about, the enthusiasm that people have, what are some ways that we as a church at St. Peter's can support or help you out if that's useful?
I think one of the big things that I'm really crying out for is just some help. We're really needing help with just lots of things. Sometimes it feels the opportunity is endless, and yet it's just the resources we lack, and we're trying to just do what we can with what we have. But for example, on Tuesday night we've got 18 teenagers, and I see the backgrounds of many of these teenagers. We've got one living in our house at the moment. I know what's going on with them. Often it's chaotic, not all the time, but often it is chaotic. And there's a real opportunity here to share the gospel. But the problem is we're understaffed to try and run a group like that. So it's been a real stretch for those of us who are involved in it, myself and Kyrene included. And so we're really just needing help to run that. So if you have a PVG and you would like to help, I promise they're not too bad. They're quite nice kids, and it's a great opportunity to help facilitate kind of sharing the gospel with these young people who, many of them will have no other way of hearing about the good news of Jesus. So the teens teens thing that we run on Tuesdays, we're really keen for just guys to come alongside and help. Doesn't even have to be every week. I think we're just trying to get a pool of leaders. We had leaders helping, but the change in the PVG guidelines made we had to drop some and get them through that process. But just even having one or two that we could call upon once a month or however long would be really helpful. And the same for Thursday night as well. Actually, we've got a lot of primary age kids, and they're great. They are a handful, but again, just real great opportunities. And my heart goes out to these kids, knowing the difficult home circumstance that many of them will go back to. And here we have the gospel. And so, just kind of, I think practically that's what we're looking for, help in the kind of youth ministry. And I think, not everyone can do that, but certainly just pray that the Lord of the harvest would provide support and help. That would be the number one thing, is just to pray for the work, for the ministry there in Charleston. Yeah, that's great, Andy. And we'll pray for Charleston later on in the service. I'm sure you'll be hanging about a little bit afterwards. If someone wants to chat to you or wants to come forward and help, they can find you around here. All right. Thanks so much, Andy. Thank you.